So it was a pleasure to be part of her life. Annica, tell the audience what motivated you to take on this project.
Well, when I was in the 4th grade, I was really interested in Native American art, and there wasn't much for my age that I could read or learn about. So my mom gave me an adult book called In the Spirit of Mother Earth, and I loved that book. I read it like front to back, with her help, of course, because I couldn't do much. And then I decided I wanted to create my own book as sort of my little project. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, I found that book in my closet, and I realized it was time to make it a reality, to turn it into something real. And that's when I created my book. I think it's something that kids from all ages will enjoy. This is my book, and it took me about 2 years to complete. It was a lot of hard work, but I think in the end it paid off, and I'm so grateful to the Levina Old Foundation for giving me the funds. That way I could give it away to all the 4th grade classrooms and public libraries in Arizona. When I was putting together my book, I wanted it to have beautiful photographs. I wanted it to have something that kids can look at, that they can say, wow, this is interesting. I want to go here. I want to see this. I want to go to the Heard Museum and look at this collection. I tried to show traditional and contemporary artists in pretty much every form. We have, for example, in the jewelry section, we have contemporary bracelets and then also more traditional ones. And I think that shows that Native American art is evolving, it is changing. It's not just something that has remained in the past. It's modern, it's fun, and it's interesting to kids. Through speaking at different schools, I discovered that there are many misconceptions about Native Americans. Kids will ask me if they know how to speak English or how they're different from us, and my answer is they aren't. They may live on a reservation, or they may know some of a different language, but that doesn't separate them from me, and that doesn't separate them from the people around us. I think what's really neat about Native American art and culture is that it is so interesting and it is so diverse, but it's also right here in Arizona, and we share a lot of things in common with them. Hi everyone, thanks for coming.
What is your favorite Indian art?
My favorite Indian art. I am a big Charles Loloma fan. He does some really cool like pottery. He also does some murals. One's actually here. And jewelry. He pretty much does a little bit of everything. But to be honest, I pretty much like all Native American art. Contemporary, traditional, I like it all.
How many titles did you think of?
Titles.
Oh, titles. About 3 or 4. Originally the book was only supposed to be about Native American art, but then as it expanded, it started to include more of their culture, and it started to become more than just an art book. So that's why I chose Arizona Nations in Art, because it pretty much talks about every single nation in Arizona. But yeah, there definitely were a few rough drafts. I didn't really think about the title too much until it was all done. So it wasn't that important, I guess, in the decision making. Basically I didn't know much, and when I was before I started this book, I thought Native Americans lived in teepees. And saying that now, it's really embarrassing, how little I knew about them. And I wanted to know more, but there weren't many books, and there wasn't much, that I could use to study, especially when I was younger and I couldn't, read as well. So now that I am 15, I'm able to read a real-size book, and I started to write my own book. That way people who are just as curious about Native American art like me would have something to help them understand it.